Good day, YouTube, and welcome to the first profile of many since we've uploaded like a few weeks ago. But thought I'd show you what I'm messing around with this current meta. A lot of testing has gone into it, and I'm glad that we got some support for it. It's going to be Live Twins. So the deck is a lot of fun. It's got future potential coming out. We got some new support for the deck in the form of Live Twin Sunny Snitch. Helps the deck a lot, so I figured I'd give this deck a test run, see how it plays. So far, it's been pretty good. It's one of those decks that you can just shove in a bunch of hand traps and other kind of interruptions, and then just go off one card combo. So let's just get into it. Starting off with 3 copies of Live Twin Kiss Kill. So these are one of your main normal summons or special summon extenders. For those who don't know, the Live Twins on summon, normal or special, get to special summon their counterpart to the field, provided you have no other monsters. In this case, their counterpart is Lilla, so 3 copies of Lilla as well. These are important because they require each other to be on the field to link off into their link monsters and get bonus effects when you have both on the field. So it's really important that you kind of maximize on the amount. Thanks to the new support, we have natural extenders, which we're going to go into now. That would be 1 copy of Kiss a Kill Frost and 1 copy of Lilla Tree. So these are searchable with the new support card, and most importantly, because they special summon themselves out by having their counterparts on the field, you don't have to worry about your opponent Ash Blossoming the normal summon of your Live Twins or using Effect Veil or Impermanence. You have one of these in hand, you just dump it out, and it just prevents your opponent from stopping you in your tracks. You can now go off into your link combos and climb and do all that other shenanigans. So they have other effects in Grave. So Frost will banish herself from the graveyard to let you draw a card when one of your if your opponent adds a card from deck to hand, except during the draw phase or battle phase, or damage step, whatever. And that's good because you can search her with Lilla, special summon her, do your link climbing, and then it's in the grave, and you get to draw 1. And since you're running a bunch of hand traps, that draw 1 isn't dead. It can lead you into an interruption on your opponent's turn. Lilla Tree is not as great. When you take battle damage involving a Live Twin card, you can banish it and then reduce the attack of the monster that did the damage by that amount of the damage you've taken. It's okay. It's not great. Your Live Twins are not that strong, so it can come in handy to get over stronger monsters, but we just run it for the name. The deck still needs some help with getting some bodies on board, so we're running 3 copies of Parallel Exceed. Parallel Exceed is fantastic because it lets you climb into link combos, puts a body on board for XE summons, whether you're running Abyss Dweller or Babushka. You can make a nice rank 4 and use it for toolbox reasons. You could always use it to link climb with the Evil Twins themselves. Make what's her name? Oh my good god. IP Masquerena, so on and so forth. So, it's a really good card. Definitely want to max out for some bodies. And that's pretty much it for the engine pieces, honestly, when it comes to the deck, because they're mostly link 2s. But let's move on to hand traps. Similar to Striker, you just shove in a bunch into the deck because you use 1-card combos to make your plays go. So we're running 3 Ash Blossoms, no explanation there. 3 copies of Effect Veiler, really good card, and just overall not once per turn, which lets you continue playing through your opponent's turn. 2 copies of Ghost Bell. Honestly, you can make these hand traps any number of hand traps depending on your meta, your locals, whatever you're trying to counter. Play around with the ratios too, however you're liking, but those are fine, honestly. Moving on to the spells, we'll start with the newest one. So this is 3 copies of Live Twin Sunny Snitch. So on activation, you get to add a Live Twin monster from your deck to your hand. This was really good because before the deck was running Cynet Mining because all the main deck monsters are Cybers, with the exception of Frost and Tree. So you would have to neg to search one of your normal summons or your extenders, and that never felt good. So having Sunny Snitch allows you to search for those extenders and play them directly from the hand. It also baits an Ash if your opponent thinks you don't have the normal summon. It really forces your opponent to kind of hit everything. And it's got another ability where every time your opponent normal special summons a monster, you gain 200 life points and they lose 200 life points. The deck struggles with damage, so this kind of helps you close the deficit, because you won't be doing mega damage every turn. You're going to do like chip damage from turn to turn. So that little ping of damage and the life point gain kind of helps you, like, recoup those costs and for card effects, and just keeps you in the game longer. 3 copies of Live Twin Home. So you discard a card and special summon a Kiss a Kill or a Lila monster from your deck. But if you do, you're stuck to Evil Twin monsters from your extra deck. So you just use this as a Hail Mary to get a second body on the board. You use it for defensive reasons. If it's your opponent's turn and they clear your board, you activate this, special summon 1 from the deck. That special summon monster could then special summon another monster, which puts 2 bodies on the board, forcing your opponent to deal with them. Great extender, great protection. Definitely want to run them at 3. And finally, 2 copies of Secret Password. Secret Password is just for consistency. I find it hard to fit 3, and I don't think 3 is really necessary because there's so many copies of consistency spells along with just the monsters themselves that let you combo. So 2 is fine. It basically, on activation, adds a Live Twin or Evil Twin spell trap from your deck to your hand. So this allows you to search Sunny Snitch. It allows you to search Live Twin Home, and any of the other traps if you're running them. And if you control a Evil Twin monster, Kiss a Kill and the Lila on the field at the same time, you could add an Evil Twin monster instead. So you can search for your extenders too if you already have the corresponding monsters on the board, which is really good if you're trying to climb into like an access code. You can find that extra extender, link off, and go ahead and crush your opponent. Some generic one-ofs to help the deck. Monster Reborn. Again, we're 1-card engine. If your opponent disrupts you while you're trying to link climb, it's nice to have a backup plan. For the same reasoning, we run 1 copy of World Legacy Succession. Lets you just combo off. And a copy of Call by the Grave so we don't get stopped. Finally, for the spells, I'm running 3 copies of Talents. I find this deck has a lot of trouble dealing with Dragoon. And if your opponent hits, like you have an odd hand of like 1 normal summon and a bunch of hand traps, and your opponent stops you, you want to be able to find something. So just digging for extra cards, trying to outer Dragoon, because the deck has like no way to get over it outside of access code. This is so valuable to you, and it really just helps you get more resources when you need them. I wouldn't put anything else. I wouldn't side deck it. Onto the traps once more. 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. We're just trying to negate opponent's monsters, set up the field for interruptions, and just have a good time while your opponent is not. I'm running 3 copies of Strike. I was first testing this deck with Judgment, and as good as Judgment is, it's very hefty in life point cost. That 4,000 is ridiculous. The deck doesn't last long enough in the grind game when it comes to like battle damage. Your Live Twins or Evil Twins are very weak. 500 attack for the main deck, 1,100 for the extra deck monsters. It's really hard to justify paying 1,000 damage, 4,000 life point damage just to negate a card. You really put yourself open for an OTK at that point. So Strike is better. 1,500 life points is nowhere near as taxing. You can recoup the cost with Sunny Snitch. As your opponent summons, you gain life points, effectively making Solemn Strike free. And Strike just hits enough cards in the current status of the meta where you'll feel fine paying at no problem. You definitely want to have some sort of hard negate and a counter trap because the deck is kind of fragile, so it's nice to have something to really break your opponent without them being able to respond. And then finally, I've just been testing the 1 copy of Evil Twin GG Easy. Really interesting card. If you can, you contribute a Kiss a Kill or Lila monster, and then you either A, target a Kiss a Kill or Lila monster and give it the attack of the attributed monster, or B, when your opponent activates a effect that would destroy cards on the field, you can negate that effect. This has more uses than it sounds. The attack boost is going to be very minuscule. The most you'll do is tribute Link to Kiss a Kill or Lila for 1,100 attack, which will make your other monster 2,200. Not big, but it can come in handy. But the main reason why this is important is because if you have both on the field and you already cycled through their effects, which we'll get to shortly, it allows you to activate it preemptively in a state where you're running into a future grind game, you start running out of copies of the Link 2, and then you're kind of stuck. This gets alleviated as we get the Link 4 and feature support, but I find this helps you grind a little bit better in the later turns. And Destruction Negation is not a bad thing, and it's searchable, so, you know, it's been working well. Alright, let's go to the Link monsters, because I think this is where a lot of context for the other cards comes in. 3 copies of Kiss a Kill Evil Twin, and 3 copies of Lilla Evil Twin. So the gimmick with these girls is that when you link summon one, you could, if you control, you do not control Lilla, you could special summon the other from the graveyard, whether it be the main deck monsters or the links. So this is important because when they're special summoned to the field, and you control the other, the counterpart monster, they activate an effect. And that would be either A, draw a card, or B, pop a monster on the field. So they recur themselves repeatedly from the graveyard. You'll link into a Link 2. Usually you want to make Kiss a Kill first if you're going first. Kiss a Kill will revive one of the main deck Lillas. Then you link away into Lilla, and Lilla will revive Kiss a Kill, and Kiss a Kill will let you draw a card. Then to end your turn, depending on your hands and your extenders, you either go into an Abomination, or you'll end on another Kiss a Kill, so you can then pop by reviving Lilla on your opponent's turn. It does lock you into Fiends if you use these effects, but you have Fiends in your Link arsenal to continue making your plays. So the gimmick is just to revive these two over and over again, get an advantage by destroying cards or drawing cards, and then close out the game with a small Link climb. Really fun, honestly. I think it's very dynamic. For extra linking cards, we have IP Masquerena. We have the Parallel Seas to go into this, so you can make this go into Unicorn and Lilla, or Kiss a Kill, draw, pop, and then use the leftover bodies to make a Unicorn, and then Unicorn can then spend something, and you draw a card for Kiss a Kill, so you'll always have an extra resource to discard for that Unicorn. Really kind of cool, and that it works in that way for this deck. Similar vein, we have the Unchained Abomination. So this is a Fiend, meaning you can do the Kiss a Kill Lilla climb and not be restricted out of this. And Abomination has great synergy with Lilla, because when Lilla pops a card, you can then pop another card with Abomination. Funny enough, if you have GG Easy, you can tribute one of the monsters. Like if you have all 4 of them, this, Lilla, and the other, you can tribute one of them, and then you'll be able to resummon Lilla. So it kind of just like helps itself. Like they just keep grinding and repeating themselves. It's really fantastic. And you can make Abomination 4,400, right? Nope, never mind. You can't make him. But whatever. Still, 3,000 attack. It is what it is. He's still a fantastic card. Until we get the future Link 4 support, we're stuck playing some awkward cards just to help us make some Link plays and get materials on board. So we're running a copy of Link Devotee and Link Disciple. These are just Cybers extenders, so you can make your Link 2s a little easier if your opponent stops your plays. It also lets you get more materials for those Link 2s, and you know, do some other shenanigans, wall up, whatever. But they do require Cybers, which the main deck monsters are, with the exception of Treat and Frost. So you can go into these, make your IP along with the Kiss a Kill Lilla, and then you get interruptions plus draw. It just helps with that. And another reason we have these is because you need a Cybers Link monster engraved for the access code climb. So you make Transcode Talker after making one of these Link Disciples, or do not make Link Devotee. Link Devotee locks you into Link 2, so don't make him. Make Disciple, make Transcode. Transcode will revive the Disciple, and then you can go into Access Code Talker. But this is to help you clear the game. Again, we don't have the Link 4 right now. It comes out in future support. But access code is just fine on its own. 5,300, pop some cards, swing for a game after you've controlled the board with Lilla and Kiss a Kill. And then finally, some support extra deck monsters. 1 copy of Babushka. Babushka's really good. All your monsters are Link based, so you can go ahead and stun the rest of your opponent's strategies, and even make them non-targetables. You know, it depends on what your matchup. You have to play him smartly. But you can really stun your opponent pretty hard with this. And him being a Fiend, you can do the Kiss a Kill Lilla climb and not be locked into this particular card. So you get protection and a floodgate, and then you get your full combo going. It's fantastic. That's what Parallel Exceed is for. You could also make this Abyss Dweller if your meta really calls for it heavy. And then finally, another out to Dragoon. We can't rely on just drawing Tactics Talents. It's nice to have something else against it. So all the main deck monsters are level 2. You can climb into this, attack Dragoon. It won't die, and then you can bounce the Dragoon back. It's non-targeting. So this is another out to Dragoon. Again, something the deck desperately needs. Everything targets. Everything is weak. You have to be able to out that Dragoon, and this is the best card for it. But that's pretty much it, guys. Sorry for the bumbling. It's been a while since I've done a deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, I'd love to hear it. I'm always trying to improve this deck on a daily basis, so please let us know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and all that jazz, and I will see you all for the next profile. Peace.